Hi again, everyone. Hope you're all doing really well. So as some of you may know, I'm actually I've newly become a father, and I've come to find that there is a lot of similarities between being a father of a newborn and watching Exela technology stock, in the sense that you can't look away for too long without something happening. So basically, since I did a little update on Friday following the closing of the preference shares and the stock falling off a cliff on the preliminary release of some earnings, there's just been a whole lot more happen with Exela Technologies. So I'll just quickly recap it and just give my thoughts on all that is going on. So firstly, with the preference shares, so it came out that only 17 million Exela shares were successfully tendered for the preference shares, which is actually a bit of a disappointment for Exela Technologies, because they were aiming to get 60 million shares tendered for this, and they were capping it at 100 million. So they only really got about not even a third of what they were desiring for, and not even 20% of the subscription was fulfilled. So that's a little bit disappointing. The good news is that if you're still holding Exela Technology stocks, it means the asset allocation going to the preference shares in terms of the underlying value is not as great. So, I suppose at this stage in the game, your Exela shares are a little bit better off. The next development that has happened is that Exela Technologies pre-market yesterday was up about 5%, before tumbling down another 20 cents per share to around the 50 cent mark. So it's, and that was the pre-market rise was on the news of Exela Technologies was acquiring a payments company called Corduro and launching Exela Money or Exela Payments or something like that. And that to me is like a logical business choice, in the sense that they do a lot of, they provide a lot of services to big companies that require payments, and it's just a way of furthering their service and what they can offer those sort of companies. You got to remember, Exela Technologies, I think they said they claim to serve about 60% of the Fortune 500 as regular customers. So, it's just another little add-on that they can have to the services that they provide in the business process automation space. So that in itself is a good move. Exela Technologies have a real problem with revealing a lot of detail. They haven't actually said how the acquisition was funded, and I haven't actually been able to find a price tag for it. So if anyone knows anything about that, let me know in the comments. I suspect they may have funded it through a partnership with B. Riley Capital. That seems to be their go-to for everything these days. Back on B. Riley Capital, I haven't seen the full financial results yet. I don't think they're out yet. I think we've only just seen the headline results. And I think the full financials are going to come out later this week. If I'm wrong, and if you've seen otherwise, can you please let me know in the comments? But I'm suspecting that 60 cents per share loss that we saw published, I'm jaywalking here, sorry, it's like 11 o'clock at night, so it doesn't really matter. But the 60 cents per share loss that we saw published, I think is really an effect of the equity funding that they're doing through B. Riley Capital to pay down their debt. So what will be, so regarding the current share price and it having fallen off a cliff, I've said this a few times before, but I think right now is a good buying opportunity, because there's a lot happening with the stock at the moment. There's the new acquisition, not as much value is being shifted to those preference shares as initially expected. So the underlying value of the remaining stocks for Exela remain high, remain not as low as I initially thought they would be. So if I've got a bit more free money, I'll probably be looking to reload up on some of the regular Exela shares. I think part of the problem with the pricing right now is that there's a lot happening with Exela Technologies, and generally tech stocks got hammered yesterday. The Nasdaq was down by 2.5 or 3%. So Exela would have been caught up in that wave. So despite some good news pre-market, I think we're seeing, we're just sort of seeing some confusion around the stock right now, and rightfully so. We haven't seen full books from Exela Technologies for a little while, and there's been a lot happening. So there's a lot that people are expecting from the business. Anyway, so do you guys know any more about Exela Technologies and what's going on with some of these developments? Like, how much did they pay for the acquisition? Have you actually seen the Q4 books yet? If so, let me know in the comments below, and maybe even send me a link. That'd be really helpful. Also, let me know your thoughts on Exela's shares now with this recent acquisition, and the fact that the preference shares weren't as widely subscribed to as had been hoped. Anyway, I should probably do a more detailed look at these things when I know a bit more. So I'll still continue to cover Exela Technologies. It's an interesting share. I quite like the company. Yeah, so anyway, until next time everyone, may the markets trade in your favour. Cheers.